right, it is the 22nd of July and it's a Tuesday and we've got about 30 minutes to the NY Open. Let's see what's happening today. Just give me a second. All right, there's some news, um, some volatility with gold. All right, let's start with the calendar. In terms of data-driven news, there is nothing today, right? Check if everything is fine. Sound is good. Yeah, we're all good. Um, yeah, in terms of data-driven news, there is nothing. There's nothing this week, in fact, right? These are not important. So we had nothing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing. There's nothing this week. Next week, we spoke about this yesterday. Next week is a big week, even though it's the last week of the month of July. I would say it's more likely it's like the first week of August because that's where NFP always falls on the first week, on the first Friday of every month, and that week is considered the first week of the month. So, but uh, this is the last week of this month, but we're having NFP there because it's a Friday. Usually, when this happens, when you have the last week of the month and you have a Friday there, they usually move NFP data to the following week, and that's the reason why I call this kind of the first week of the month of August, right? But next week a high it's important news. There are a lot of important news events next week, especially the interest rate decision, the press conference that comes in 30 minutes after that, and then NFP obviously on Friday, right? So next week is going to be very interesting. This week there is nothing. Now, data-driven news, there is nothing, but there's a lot of talks on Jerome Powell. Is he going to resign? Is he going to get fired? They're anticipating more inflation. The dollar is not doing too well. If you remember last week, was it last week? Yes, let's just go quickly to it. Um, last week was CPI, PPI, retail sales. All of this data wasn't great. You can see CPI data wasn't great, PPI data wasn't great, and retail sales was okay. Retail sales was okay, right? But no great US data coming out to strengthen the dollar, right? So they're anticipating high inflation could come in. There's still trade war. The trade war is still going on. So whenever there is uncertainty in the markets, gold prices are going to go up, right? Investments are going to move away from the dollar into gold. Gold is a safe haven, so is the US dollar. But they're going to move away from the dollar when they see uncertainty against the when they see uncertainty with the US dollar, they're going to move into gold, and that's what's happening. Um, there haven't been great data with CPI, PPI last week, um, and so they're anticipating possible inflation coming in too. The trade war is still going on. Three, and a possible change of the Federal Reserve head, right? The chairman Jerome Powell. So there's a lot of uncertainty. So this could be the reason for price. Any one of those reasons or a combination of those reasons could be why gold prices pushed up. Now we were anticipating a move up. We've been expecting, I would say, not enough. We've been expecting a move up right from here. If you were here on the streams last week, just give me a second. Yeah, if you were here on the streams last week, I said price will react from one of these two candles because there's a drop, a base, and a rally that took out this supply, this rally base drop, and and price pushed above it. It took that out. So we dipped back into that zone and we pushed up, and I said we're heading through this zone. The reason we're heading through this zone is we've come there twice already, once and twice. And then yesterday we had this big 580, yeah, 560 pip candle that took us to through 3,400. We're getting a reaction off it. We could have a bit of a pullback before price continues to head higher. There's a lot of uncertainty, right? A lot of uncertainty in the market, and that's going to drive gold prices high. We're heading towards 3,430 and then 3,400 and then possibly even higher, right? In the short term. In the short term, that's where we're heading. I don't want to, discuss what's happening in the long term. I'm not a investor, and neither am I a swing trader. So for the purpose of the way I trade and for these streams, we discuss short-term moves, right? So whatever's happening in the week or the next week or so, we discuss those moves, those technical moves. Let's go to our trading chart. All right, so before we draw our zones, let's do a quick recap of two ideas that I shared yesterday, right? So I said, so price was somewhere here, I think when we ended the stream. Yeah, it was about, I think, somewhere here. I said, if I want to take buys, wait for a price that was already at this point, at this candle, when this candle closed, I think I ended the stream, we were about, what's this 30-minute time frame? Yeah, we were 280 pips away from the EMA. So I said, wait for price to pull back. 15-minute support is sufficient. Wait for a 15-minute support, a 15-minute tradable bull candle to close for price to push back up. But I said, wait for price to come further down. It didn't. It just didn't, right? It's too bullish. There was no pullback. Price didn't. And I said for sells, after 10:30 a.m., all right, I said, probably towards the second half of the NY, the beginning of the second half of the NY session, price gets to 3,400. You could possibly looking for sells. If we form 30-minute resistance and a 30-minute tradable back candle close, we can look for sells to come down. There was a trade here. I drew the fib. I got in just above 3,400 with a very tight stop loss. The reason I took a very tight stop loss just above this candle is because this is a counter trend trade, and it's a very risky trade because at this point, when I took this trade of this candle here, this bearish candle, from the 1 hour all the way up to the weekly was bullish. So this is a very risky trade. So that is why I wanted a very tight stop loss. If I'm wrong, I want to find out very quickly. I want to find out very quickly. I don't want to hold a lot of drawdown to find, or I don't want to be in drawdown for too long to find out that I'm wrong. Right? I wanted to if I'm wrong, I want to find out instantly. Am I wrong on this trade? And that's it. Um, but so I took an entry here at the sniper, just above the sniper level, around 3,400 and probably 0.23, somewhere there, with a stop loss of about 11 pips, and I got out here, just here at about 80-90 pips. So that was a very good RR trade, very tight stop loss, and price pushed down. We created resistance, a tradable 30-minute back candle close. I took it off this candle because this candle, this bull candle tapped 3,400, and the next candle broke the low, plus it created 30-minute resistance. So waited for the pullback, got in here, and got out here, right? Soon as we came to the 2RR level, 3392, I got out there, right? I was absolutely not going to hold this trade because, again, this is a counter trend trade. You got to be very conservative with your TP levels when you're trading against such a bullish market. All right, so let's get rid of these and start with our zones. Yeah. All right, so price is reacting to supply that is on the left here, There is a supply zone. If you go to the 1 hour time frame, it might be clearer. Yeah, there it is. A rally-based rally. If you go to the 30-minute, yeah, or maybe even the 15-minute, you'll see there's nothing here. There's a clean candle. Yeah, it's this zone here, this drop. Yeah, we're going to break this. We're going to, yeah, we're going to break this very easily. We're just going to push up and break this. There's nothing here. There isn't a proper zone here. There isn't a drop, base drop. Those are the kind of zones that hold when it comes to supply zones. Clear 30-minute or even a 15-minute or even a 1 hour drop-based drop are the ones that hold. There isn't one here. We're going to go through this. As you can see in the past, price has been at this level or come to this level many times, right? We created it on the way down, came up here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, and now 9 and 10, right? We're going to go through this, right? That is um, almost a certainty. Don't want to say certainties in trading, but we are going to go through this very, very soon. So we're very bullish, and that bullish move is going to continue, and we're going to come up here to the next liquidity candle. Now, back to our zone. We've created new supply here. Having said that, we've created new supply, so we have to mark that. I would say I would take this as the base, right? We'll take a look at that on the 1 hour because price is reacting to 3,400. So we'll take that, we'll have a look at that on the 1 hour, but for now, we start with this 334. Let's take a look at that on the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, that should be okay. If we have a rally, base in candles, and I would say this is the drop. Have we taken on this low? Yeah, we have. Yeah, that could be temporary push down and then we come up. That can happen. We could push down here and then begin to push back up, which is good. I would prefer deeper pullbacks when the market is in a strong bullish trend or a bearish trend, a very strong bullish or bearish trend. I would in fact prefer deeper pullbacks, right? The more price retraces or the more price pulls back, the better. Then we look for our confirmations because then we have a higher profit potential, right? A higher range for price to move, back, because we know that price from the high time frames, we know that price is going to go through this. If you look at the daily, um, have you broken this high? Not yet. What's this high? 618 now. 333, sorry. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah. So we haven't broken this zone yet. We are going to break that zone. Price is going to come, retest 3,400 and break the high and continue higher. But if price can pull back further down to these wicks here, if we can pull back to these wicks, there's nothing like it, right? Then we've got a bigger move up. We look for lower time frame confirmations from a liquidity level or a liquidity candle and look to take those buys for price to go back up and then continue higher. Okay. So that's still for our supply. It's no longer high liquidity zone because price has crossed obviously the 50% mark. You can see prices come deep in here. Okay. Let's take yeah, I think that's good on the 1 hour. Yeah, that's We'll take a look at it later, but for now, this is okay. Let's look at demand. This is the closest 4-hour demand. There's a rally-based rally here. I think I'd marked this yesterday. You can extend that to the right as well. It's a 4-hour demand zone, not a 1-hour demand zone anymore. Yesterday we had marked it as a 1-hour, but after this 4-hour candle closes, then that becomes a 4-hour demand. Whereas we have a rally base and a rally. Let's take a look at that on the 1-hour. Yeah, we're good there. 30-minute, also we're good. Yeah, we're gonna extend this liquidity candle to the right as well. There is clean space to the left where price can drop. It could be dropping down to this rally-based rally here. It could drop down there. Yeah. But I'll be very careful trying to take sells here. We'll have to see. Let's do our analysis. Let's finish with the analysis and then let's see. Okay. Yeah. Those are the only two zones. Extend this to the right. Covered about 400 pips to the downside. That's good enough. 300 pips to the upside. Yeah, let's extend this as well. We've had this drawn since the second week of June. Now we're getting there. Yeah, it's about 500 pips to the upside. Okay, we'll come back to this liquidity candle. We drew it over a month ago, so we're going to come back to that later and take a look at that again, see if that's okay. All right, so yeah, we don't have any new zones that are formed except for this one, which we kind of had drawn it yesterday. This liquidity candle, let's just let's take a look at that. What's happening? Yeah, so 1 minute candle here. It's this candle, 136.16. It's a huge 1 minute candle. That's the candle. 321982. 321982. Okay. Yeah. That's the candle right there. Price is reacting to. Okay. So let's extend that to the right as well. Tapped it several times. Tapped it in the London session. We tapped it in the Asian, London, and we're coming back in. Very likely going to push through that. Yeah, I'm going to adjust it to this one now. We have this big, this, we've formed supply here. Let me explain what I'm doing. We formed supply, we formed a rally, base, and a drop, right? And just a second. Yeah, we formed a rally, a base, and a drop. And in that, there is a high liquidity candle, right? We formed a new high liquidity candle. It's visible on the 30-minute time frame. It's that one right there. It's a 91, 92 pip candle. That is the largest candle right there. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, it's also 92 pips. That was formed at the Asian session this morning. So we're going to base it off that. Look at the 5-minute time frame as well, since we're here. Yeah, 15 is good. And the BRN runs right through it. So this low is 93.34. 93.34. There we go. Right, and you can see how price tapped it in the Asian session, pushed back, did not tap it in the London session. So we are coming up there to tap this. We're coming up right now to tap this. Okay. All right, done. So that's the analysis. We have our liquidity candles. Now, price can push down. There is a lot of clean space. I spoke about this. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, below this low right here, right, a price has struggled to close below it. So if we close a 30-minute candle somewhere here at this area, we are very likely going to push down because there's clean space here to the left, right? If you look at the 30-minute time frame, clean space, 15-minute time frame, clean space, and obviously on the 1 hour, 4 hour also, it's clean space. So if we close a 30-minute candle, a bear candle here during a high volume time, we could be pushing down, okay, after we tap this. All right, let's go to the 15-minute time frame and take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. See where the market opened. Right here, this is the market open, this candle right here. This one, 3397.7. Okay, it opened inside the liquidity candle to the left, and then it formed this candle inside that. Okay, let's start here. It's 230. Yeah, this is the high that push price down. Yeah, it's not much movement in the London session today. Okay. In the Asian session, we moved about 170 pips, decent volume. In the London session, nothing, just 80 pips, no volume, right? Just ranging basically. So for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, right? This is the 1 hour candle is just about to close. The last 10 hours we've been ranging, so there should be a move today in the NY session. There has to be a move today. We've just moved about 190 pips, right? So there should be a move today. For the last 10 hours we've been ranging. There will be a breakout, maybe to the downside first, and then grab liquidity and continue to push up. That's very possible. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think we're gonna push down. Gonna push down first. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, push down to tap the previous weekly high. This is the weekly high. Come to that area and maybe close above, get confirmation. That would be nice. If price comes, taps this, we get a close below. We put a level there. Uh, Price comes down, taps these areas, candles close below, pushes down, and then start to close back above, confirming the the bullish move. That'll be amazing if you can get that. That's a good confirmation. This is the weekly high, the previous weekly high. If you come and tap it, push down, candles close below this. It closes below 3377.5, and then create support and starts to close back above to push up. That'll be nice. That'll be really nice. All right, let's take a closer look at what price has done. We've got about 2 minutes to the NY Open. Let's take a closer look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. Okay, so we were very bullish yesterday, starting from pre-NY or just before pre-NY. Let's say pre-NY. Yeah, pre-NY. This candle is pre-NY. Very bullish, right? We pushed up 365 pips, and then we ranged. I took a sell here. I explained the sell. It was it's a very tight stop loss, about 11 pips, and I got out here. Good RR on that trade. Uh, the market opened here. This candle. Second, yeah. The market opened here, right? But now it's opening inside the liquidity candle. We pushed up, created the Asian high, and we formed a liquidity candle. This one right here, this 15-minute candle is a liquidity candle, right? And price pushed down, came back up, grabbed liquidity from the liquidity candle, right? We got the liquidity candle now, so price doesn't need to come to 3,400 anymore. Came up, grabbed liquidity from this liquidity candle, pushed straight down past the EMAs and created the Asian low, right? We're in between the EMAs now. Price pushed back up, passing we created 30-minute support first, right there, created 30-minute support, pushed back up to the liquidity candle, tapped it, started to push down, right? And we created the London high. We pushed down, pulled back, created the London high, created 30-minute resistance right there. And after we created 30-minute resistance and the London high, we pushed down to the Asian low. Tap the Asian low. Now we've been ranging. Remember, the last 10 hours we've been ranging, right? So price is just moving sideways. So we came back, we tapped the Asian low, closed at it, just below it, came down, created the London low, created 30-minute support, and is pushing up again, right? And now it's got there, it's got back to the London high. Created 30-minute support, and then price tried to come back in. We rejected the Asian low and the London low, formed 30-minute support here again. That's 30-minute support right there. Go back to the 50-minute chart, and we came back to the London high. Very little volume, right? Just bouncing between these two levels. Now, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I think we're coming above this high. Price is going to trade above this high. We're coming possibly deeper. Let's see if we come deeper and then get candles start to close bearish. We could look to take sells. It's possible. We could look to take sells to come down. That's one scenario. To take sells from up here to come down because we've broken this low. Have we broken this low? What's this low? 360, and this is low is 339. Yeah, we've broken this low. This is a significant low that took price up to 3,400. Price has come, broken that. So we could be heading down. 30-minute support has formed. Yeah, I'm not buying here. I'm definitely not buying here because there is a supply zone just above here. Obviously, I'm not buying here. But if we get candle confirmation here, 30-minute resistance, then we can look to take sells down. Let's take a look at what else we have there. Okay, so these two are two old weekly highs, right? These two are two old weekly highs. 3396.7 can be important. Yeah. Let's see what price does. We're very likely, this has no top wick. We've already broken, we've come above that high. Let's see if we can come higher. Tap the liquidity candle because we haven't tapped the liquidity candle in the London session. So we've tapped it in the Asian session, but we didn't tap it in the London session. So we're very likely gonna come up, very likely, let's see. If we come up and if there is some sort of structure, 30-minute resistance, tradable 30-minute bear candle closes, then maybe we can get a trade to come down. Maybe. Let's see. We'll have to wait. Wait for this 30-minute candle to close. There's 25 minutes for the candle to close. There's a lot of waiting to be done. Lots of waiting. Any questions on the analysis, on what I'm waiting for, what I've just explained, what I'm waiting for? You can always post a message in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer. Right. Uh, so I'm waiting, as I said, I'm waiting for price. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting for this 30-minute candle to close, right? It's got about 24 minutes for this candle to close. I'm waiting for this candle to close. We're very likely going to break this high. We're going to come into this liquidity candle. So once it does, I'm going to wait for the candle to close. I'm not doing anything. This candle is a very bullish candle with hardly any top wick. We've already broken the high and we're trying to push further up. So I'm just going to wait for this 30-minute candle to close. I'm not taking any buys here. I'm not, absolutely not. And the reason for that is just 2 pips away, there is a supply zone. So it makes no sense. 2-3 pips away is a supply zone. I'm not taking any buys here, absolutely not. So I'm just waiting for this candle to close, which is about 24 minutes from now. And then let's see how the candle closes, where it closes. Is going to close very strong bullish or bearish. I'm going to wait for that candle to close, right? Uh, for me, buys are below here, below this. That's where buys are. I want to see price pull down, create some sort of support below the London low, somewhere in this space, right? Somewhere in this space. I would like to see price come to, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. 140 pips, 22. Let's for 30 minute. 84, 89. Yeah, I would like to see price coming to this area, this at least to this candle, or even further down, right? For me to take buys, at least to this candle here, or further down. Let's take a look at the 15 minute very quickly. Yeah, I want to see price come into this candle. We've tapped it already. We've tapped the candle already, but yeah, it happened in the London session. It was a London session trade. Perfect. It tapped this candle, right? Why this candle? Because that is a strong bullish candle. It's a possibly a high liquidity candle that pushed price up to 3,400. It's a significant candle, right? If you look at the 15-minute chart, it's the largest candle in the range. If you look at all of these candles, this one stands out as the largest, right? So, and price came, tapped it, right? So it is a high liquidity candle, and we formed 30-minute support here. See, we formed 30-minute support. We tapped this candle. This is the same candle on the 30-minute time frame. We tapped it, formed support, and now we're pushing up. So if this had happened in the New York session, I would have taken this trade, but it happened in the London session, right? This is during the London sessions happen. So unfortunately, no. So we have to wait now. Now we have already broken the high. As expected, we broke the high. Price is pushing further up. I'm waiting for another 20 minutes, 21 minutes for the candle to close, and then let's see what to do. Where the candle closes, are we going to get a rejection? Is it strong bullish? If it's strong bullish, very likely the next candle is going to pull back and break this candle high and continue even higher. But I'm not taking buys inside. I don't buy inside a supply zone. And there are traders who do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's the way you trade, you should stick to it. I just don't. I don't buy in supply and I don't sell inside demand. Okay, so while we wait, I'll be back in. We're waiting for the candle to close. I'll be back in a few minutes. Again, if you have any questions on the analysis or what I'm waiting for, what I'm waiting to see, right? In terms of candles, what's to be printed. I'm waiting for something specific. If you have any questions on that, you can always post a message in the chat. Hmm. Okay. Again, remember, I said this yesterday. If you watch the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes of yesterday's stream, I said this is a non news week. Um, Two things could happen. I said the Monday candle, which is yesterday's daily candle, we can have a lot of volume on the first day of the week, and then the rest of the days of the week we could just have very average volume, right, or low volume. Or we could have a small candle on Monday and then have decent volume during the week. So we had a 560, 565, 570 pip candle yesterday, daily candle. So things might be slow for the rest of the week. It could be slow because next week is a big week, right? And if you want volume, then save your bullets for next week. Um, Even if you do get a setup this week, you get a trade, have very conservative stop loss. Have a very conservative TP level, right, on your trades. Don't try to. Maybe it's not advisable to hold a runner, but maybe take out 80% of your position at TP1, and then maybe hold about 15%, 10% if you want to hold, or you can take out more. You can take out your entire position at TP1 because it's very likely going to be a low volume week. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. Yeah, still about 12 minutes for the candle to close. As I said, I'm not looking to buy here, at least not now. Um, the only time I would consider buying in this area is once this liquidity candle is taken out, right? Once we break above this, right? You can see this liquidity candle. I had marked it at the beginning um, when we were doing our analysis. It's based off the high of it. The entire liquidity candle is based on a 1 minute candle, right? What happened on the 16th of July? Was it? Yeah, CPI, PPI. It was PPI news. 1 second. Yeah, 616 was, sorry, 616. That's 716. CPI. Was it CPI? Huh? June 16th. There was no news. Wow. There was a huge move down. I don't know what was the cause of it. It was a news related event that created a 204 pip 5 minute candle, right? And that's the liquidity candle that we are reacting to. We are in right now, this candle. But I don't see anything on Forex Factory. Yeah, 616. This is June 16th. There is nothing. There is no news. There is no news on the 16th of June. Nothing. Nothing. Let's just see news. What we had for news. No, can't find anything. But this wasn't a data related news event, but something caused this 205 pip candle, 5 minute candle to push down. Some news event. And that's where price is. We're inside that liquidity candle, right? We're pushing deeper into it. Let's see where the 30-minute candle closes. Is it going to close? Is it going to push through the entire candle? If it's going to push through is it going to break this high? Great. If it does, fantastic. Then we can get rid of the liquidity candle. Wait for a pullback, support to form to take the trade to go up, right? Remember that in the last 10 hours we were ranging. Now we have a breakout, right? I said this at the beginning when we were doing the analysis. 1 second. Yeah, I said this at the beginning. We were ranging for 10 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours we ranged. Price was in about a 70 pip range, 65, 70 pip range. Now we have a breakout. Why breakout now? Because this is the NY Open. It's a high volume time. We're getting a breakout. Now, is this a breakout to continue higher? If it is a breakout to continue higher, then what I want to see once this liquidity candle breaks, once price breaks above this high, which is around 2402.5 or 2.6, once you break above that high, if you can get rid of the liquidity candle, then I want to see a pullback, 30-minute support form, and then for us to take a trade for price to go retest the high and continue even higher. But if we break the high, we're very likely going to push straight up here because the next liquidity candle is just 60 pips away. So we're going to push to the next one very quickly. So we might have to wait later for buys, not because once you break this high here, this London high, the liquidity candle high, they're all around the same area. Once we go past 2402.5, then we are heading straight up here very quickly. It's a 70 pip move up. That might happen with one candle, one 30-minute candle, or two 30-minute candles, depending on volume. I'm not taking any sells. I don't know pending orders. I'm not taking any sells because there is no reason. There is zero reasons right now to take sells. Zero. There's nothing. Nothing. There's no reason. The reason I took sells here yesterday because we had candle confirmations. Price came to 3,400. We formed resistance. This candle broke below this previous low, this previous candle low. So yes, there was a reason to take. Right now, there's nothing. There's no reason at all. We're bullish on the weekly, daily, 4-hour. We're pushing up. We've created 4-hour support. We're pushing up. We're very likely going to come into this wick. Where this wick is going to get filled pretty easily. That's a 50 pip wick. We're going to fill this wick. There's a lot of bullish momentum. Price is going to push up and fill that wick, pretty easily. So we're bullish on the weekly, daily 4-hour. We're bullish on the 1-hour. Now we're bullish. We were ranging, but now after we broke this high, we broke above 32.92, 33.92.5. We are bullish now. So 1-hour to weekly, we're from the 1-hour, starting from the 1-hour all the way up to the weekly, we're bullish. So there is no reason to look for any sells right now, unless we have a rejection, 30-minute resistance forms, 30-minute tradable back candle closes to take sells, but I don't think that's going to happen now. Later on, maybe if price gets to 3430, very possible. We can look for sells. But right now, there's absolutely no sells. For me, there is no sells. I'm just I'm just waiting for buys, for price to pull back, create support, take the buys to go up. That's all I'm waiting for. Yeah, we're pushing up. 30-minute candle closed. Bullish, no top wick, no bottom wick. All this means is there is so much bullish volume. 96 pip 30-minute candle. There was no reason for price to pull back into this range. There's a lot of bullish volume. We were ranging, I said, for 10 hours. NY session open, we broke the high, we're pushing up, right? There's absolutely no sells here. We're just waiting. 30-minute candle closed bullish. Uh, just waiting. I'm just waiting, right? We've already broken the high. The next candle broke the high, and possibly coming down to create a bottom wick before we head up. Let's see. Got to wait for the 30-minute candle close. Nothing to do right now. Very bullish. Yeah, we got to wait for this candle to close. Um, yeah, it's nothing to do until then. 30-minute support here. Resistance here. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Yeah, we're pushing up, push past this. Okay, a lot of bullish volume. We're heading up here. There's no pullback. We're heading up here. Very likely this candle is going to push up right here, all the way up here. Okay, I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes. Again, what I'm looking for is a pullback and then to take a buy to go up. Sells, probably if you get up here, if you get towards 3430, right? If you get up here, what's that? 460 pip candle, yeah, very easily possible today. We are, yeah, we're averaging about 420 pips to 425 pips a day. So we can get a 450 pip candle there. So somewhere here, if you get up here to this wick, then maybe sell. So we still have about 120 pips to get there to this wick here. This wick is 34, let's say 34.15, 34.14, 34.15. What's a 34.14, 34.15, 34.15? Yeah, this liquidity candle right here. So if you get up here after the 4-hour candle closes, maybe we can take sells. If we get 30-minute resistance, 30-minute tradable back candle closes, we can look for the pullback and take the sells to come down. But right now, until then, for the next until about 10:30, or yeah, I mean right until about 10:30, 11, I'm only looking for buys. I'm waiting for price to pull back, create support, take the buys to go up, retest the high, the new high that we're creating in the NY session, um, and then possibly continue higher. So I'm looking for a pullback, buys to go up, sells from around here or even higher, and that could be much later after 10:30 a.m. EST. All right. Um, Yeah, yeah. We'll have the streams running for about, be here for another maybe 10 minutes and then we'll end the stream. There is no pullback for me to take these trades, right? I don't trade the breakout, but if you're a breakout trader, then you can take this trade with the NY open when price breaks this high. You can look to, because we are bullish, the analysis that I shared was bullish. You put your stop under the current candle or this swing low on the 30-minute time frame and look and take on the buys to go up, right? Because I said price is heading deep into this right at the beginning. I said we're going to go through this liquidity candle and then we should be heading up here, right? But I'm not a breakout trader. I want the pullback to take the trade to go up. Yeah, we're very likely to close possibly a bullish candle. Still a lot of time, 11 minutes for the candle to close. We could close bullish. This is the Asian high. We could close at it, just under it or above it, and the next candle can pull back to 3,400 and continue higher, right? And continue higher. Well, wait for the candle to close. Wait for the candle to close. This candle has closed above 3396 and 3400, so we'll wait for the candle to close to see if you're going to have a pullback to this area to continue higher. Let's see. Very bullish. Price may not need to pull back. And this is very similar to what happened yesterday. NY session opened, the next candle broke the high, pushed up, and there was no need for a pullback. Price was very bullish, so it didn't need to pull back to grab liquidity to head higher. It just pulled back a little bit, about 30-40 pips, and then just pushed straight to 3,400. Very similar thing happening here. NY session opened very bullish like this, really bullish. Next candle broke the high and pushed straight up. Let's see what happens. Gonna wait for this candle to close. Again, I've shared the ideas. I'm waiting for um, buys for a pullback, 30-minute support to take the buys to push up, or sells, preferably from here, not from here. No, not sells from here. Possible sells. Even if you do get sells from here, I'm not interested in taking them because we're very bullish right now. This is not the time to look for sells. Sells may be later on when price is exhausted. Price has only done 220 pips so far, so we've got a move. We've got some sort of volume left, a decent bit of volume left. So price could continue to push up. So it makes no sense to try to take sells here. When price can easily continue to these liquidity candles, you're going to be holding drawdown if you try to take a sell here. Even if there is 15-minute time frame confirmations or 30-minute time frame confirmations, it doesn't make sense in taking a sell here because price is very easily or very likely heading up to this liquidity candle and then even further through it. So you want to wait for price to get up there, for it to kind of run through its average daily range, maybe get to around 350 pips. At least what's this move up? Yeah, at least let it run another 150 pips and then maybe we'll see. After 10:30 a.m. EST, anytime after 10:30 or 11 a.m. EST, is when you want to see after price is exhausted, it gets to these levels, it starts creating 30-minute resistance and starts breaking previous lows, then you can look to take price to come down again. You'll have to have very conservative TP levels if you take sells, because it's a very, very risky trade. All the high time frames from the 1 hour all the way up to the weekly is bullish, right? I said the same thing yesterday as well. All right, just wait. I'll be back in a few minutes. Going to wait for this candle to close. It's got about 6.5 minutes for the candle to close. All right, so we're closing bullish. We're very likely going to, the next candle is going to go all the way up there, right? Probably pull back a bit and then push up all the way up there. Yeah. Very bullish market. You know, if you're a breakout trader, perfect trades to take. Just take the breakout here because we are bullish. Price is heading up. Support formed, 30-minute support formed. We rejected the Asian low and the London low. 30-minute support formed. You can take the breakout and price just pushed up. But I need a pullback to take trades. The candle is closing here. If you pull back here, we can get rid of this. We don't need this anymore. Yeah, can get rid of this as well. We'll keep it for now. But we can wait for a pullback. Let's see where the candle closes. We're closing here. Yeah. 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 If you get a pullback towards, let's get rid of this. If price pulls back to, what's this high? 1 second. 790 and low is 117. 790, 117. If there's a pullback here, can look to take buys. Stop loss under the, we have an hour for the candle to close, pushing up. Yeah. Yeah, I would want to see price push down. Where is this? How far is this from the EMS? Yeah, there we go. We're tapping this already. We're tapping this. Yeah, I would want to see price pull back, create at least 15-minute support, and then push up to take the buys to go up, right? But a pullback definitely to these areas around 3396 or even 3397. This area here, this 30 pip, 40, 35, 40 pip area, price to pull back there, create 15-minute support, and then maybe to go up, right? That's if you do it now, if you pull back now. If not, then we're pushing right. Going to go into this and maybe head even further up. Again, so I've shared, so for buys, I'm waiting for price to pull back, create 30-minute support would be better, but at least 15-minute support and a 15-minute tradable bull candle close for price to go up and retest the high and continue higher. And for sells, for price to come up here, maybe after 10:30 a.m., at least wait for another hour and a half. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close, and maybe even a little while after that, maybe an hour after that. Wait for price to come further up, around after 10:30 a.m. EST, right? Wait for 30-minute resistance. Wait for a previous low to be broken, and then look for the pullback to take the sells to come down, right? Possibly from around 3430, from up here, right? Very likely up here. But I'm not very keen on sells because we're very, very bullish, and that's a counter trend trade. And this is, I explained at the beginning why why in terms of fundamental reasons why price is heading up, right? There are many. We listed out 4 right at the beginning, so I'm not going to repeat all of that right now. So that's the reason we're heading up. Could be any one of them or a combination of them why we're heading up. So I would prefer buys even later on for price to pull back, create some sort of support, and then take the buys to go up. That is the favorable trade, right? The buys for price to go up, right? There we've already tapped it. We just tapped the liquidity candle. There we go. We tapped it, right? So I'm yeah, I'm favoring buys over sells, right? In this market, I'm favoring buys over sells. Um, I would advise against taking any sells in this area. Maybe up here, maybe if there is candle confirmation, if there is 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, maybe look to take sells here, right? But definitely buys. Wait for the pullback, 15-minute support or 30-minute support to take the buys to go back up. All right. Okay. So this week might not have many opportunities. I think next week there's a lot of news-driven data that's coming out next week. So we might have proper structure form and trades that we can take based on during those days, anticipating volume. All right. Okay, that's the end of the stream. I'll be back here tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our analysis and then see what opportunities we might have, if we have any of at all, for the first couple of hours of the NY session. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for if you tuned in even for a bit. Thank you. If these streams are helpful, then like and share them. It does help others find them. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care.